Crows are incredibly smart birds, and one of the most fascinating things about them is their ability to remember human faces. This might sound surprising at first, but it's true. Crows are known to recognize individual humans and can even remember them for years. This ability is not just an odd quirk. It's a testament to how intelligent and adaptable these birds are. Crows live in a world filled with many different kinds of animals, including humans. To survive in this world, crows need to be able to identify things and make quick decisions about whether they are safe or not. One of the ways crows do this is by remembering faces. Their brains are highly developed for problem-solving and social interaction, which helps them notice things that are important in their environment, including people. Just like how a dog might recognize its owner by their face or scent, crows use their excellent vision to identify individual human faces. They don't just see a person and forget about them. Instead, they remember whether that person was kind or threatening. If a human treated the crow well or was friendly, the crow is more likely to remember that face as a positive one. On the other hand, if a human posed a threat to the crow, it would remember that person's face as something dangerous. Crows, like many animals, have excellent eyesight. They are able to see fine details and can recognize individual faces with impressive accuracy. Studies have shown that crows can remember faces for several years. One way they do this is through a process called associative learning. This means that crows can link a face with something that happened, whether it was a positive or negative experience. For example, imagine a human who might have caught a crow or tried to harm it in some way. The crow would associate that human's face with fear or danger. The next time the crow sees that face, it will recognize it and may react by avoiding that person, making a warning call, or even showing aggressive behavior. Crows have been shown to pass this information along to other crows in their group. If one crow has a bad experience with a person, it can warn others by showing them the same face, helping to protect the entire group. The remarkable thing about crows is that they don't just remember faces for a short time. They can hold on to these memories for years. Researchers have conducted experiments where they wore masks to test how crows reacted. Even after several years, crows would still recognize and react to the masked person, showing that their memory for faces is not only long-lasting, but also quite detailed. Crows are social creatures. They live in groups, called murders, and work together to find food, protect each other, and even teach their young. Sharing knowledge about which humans are dangerous or friendly is incredibly useful in their social structure. If one crow has a bad experience with a human, it can alert others in its group. This helps the entire group stay safe and avoid potential threats. In some cases, crows have been observed teaching their young to recognize certain human faces. This passing down of knowledge helps ensure that the next generation doesn't have to learn everything from scratch. It's like how a child might learn to avoid dangerous situations by listening to the advice of their parents. For crows, this kind of knowledge sharing is essential for their survival. For humans, the idea that crows can remember faces is both fascinating and a bit humbling. It shows that even animals we might consider simple have complex ways of thinking and interacting with the world around them. Crows' ability to recognize faces also teaches us something important about how animals interact with humans. It suggests that we need to be mindful of how we treat wildlife. While we may not always think about it, our actions can have a lasting impact on the animals we encounter, whether it's a crow, a deer, or a stray dog. If we approach crows with kindness and respect, they are more likely to remember us in a positive way. On the other hand, if we treat them poorly or harm them, they may hold that grudge for years. This is a reminder that animals are not as distant from us as we might think. They can experience fear, joy, and even trust, just like we can. In the wild, crows use their face recognition skills in many ways. One of the most important is for avoiding predators and threats. For example, crows often face dangers from humans or other animals who might try to hurt them or steal their food. By remembering faces, crows can stay safe by recognizing who to avoid. Additionally, crows use their memory of faces in their social interactions. If a crow sees a human who often provides food or interacts with them in a friendly way, the crow may approach that person for a closer look or even attempt to make contact. In this way, the crow can form a relationship with certain humans and learn which ones are beneficial to be around. Crows are also known to be opportunistic feeders, which means they take advantage of opportunities to get food from humans. A crow might learn that a particular person regularly leaves out food scraps, or that a certain place has a reliable food source. Over time, the crow will remember the face of the person associated with that food and may return to that person or location whenever it is hungry. Researchers have studied crows' ability to remember faces in controlled experiments. In one well-known study, scientists wore different masks and interacted with crows in specific ways. Some researchers were friendly, while others were threatening. The crows were then observed to see how they responded. The crows were not only able to remember the faces of those who posed a threat, but also showed signs of warning other crows about those faces. They would make calls, and other crows would fly away when they saw the same face. This kind of response suggests that crows use social learning to share important information about their environment. Crows' ability to remember human faces is just one example of how intelligent and adaptable they are. These birds are capable of forming memories, associating faces with experiences, and even passing along information to others in their group. This behavior shows us that crows are far more complex than we often give them credit for, and it reminds us of the importance of treating animals with respect. Crows, like many other animals, are not just passive creatures. They are active participants in their environment, and their ability to recognize faces is just one of the many ways they navigate the world.